enjoyment. And one of the ways that we do that, protect the ocean, is through beach cleanups. And here, the first few days of autumn, we just want to make sure we're getting the beaches all cleaned up as we're heading into the off season. There's also local summer, and the See Here Now Festival was an awesome success, and there was a lot of work done to minimize the negative environmental impact of See Here Now Festival.
Mm-hmm.
But there are going to be a few cigarette butts left over, some other little things, and we just want to make sure that we get that all up and just have a clean slate as we move into the off season.
And it's going to be ongoing besides, except when there's a concert, or are we doing this ongoing?
We do beach cleanups all throughout Monmouth County, and we do them in particular during the off season, because during summer, municipalities usually take care of cleaning up the beach. So we tend to go to areas where there isn't cleanups. Like, for instance, we were just at a bayshore town in Middletown where they don't get a lot of municipal cleanup. And then in the wintertime and spring, we'll definitely go into towns to clean up the beaches when the towns themselves aren't doing it anymore. So no, we're committed all year round to beach cleanups. And we also, on top of that, it isn't just removing stuff, because removing stuff only does so much. What really needs to be done is systemic change. And one of the ways that we're going about systemic change is keeping track of the data of what we pick up. And then
Everything you take up, pick down.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we enter into a big database, a national database from Surfrider, and then this gives us sort of ammunition, so to speak, to talk to towns or states to pass a plastic ban ordinance, whether it's plastic bags, plastic straws, styrofoam, cigarette butts, or whatever. We can say, we did beach cleanups in your town, and we found, X number of cigarette butts or straws, and so we actually have hard data to support what we're trying to push.
The science versus hearsay.
Yes, anecdotal, right? Exactly.
So how long y'all been in existence as far as doing this stuff? Yo,
Surfrider is 35 years old.
Wow.
And started in California and the Jersey Shore chapter. So there are about 81 different chapters all around the country.
Okay.
And the Jersey Shore chapter was one of the first ones founded outside of California. And it was founded by some surfers here, still around and still volunteering with Surfrider. But I'll tell you a depressing fact, that for the 35 years that Surfrider's been in existence, we've picked up X number of tons of garbage from the beaches, which is it's an impressive number, but that's the amount of waste that plastic creates every 8 hours. So for 35 years we've been cleaning up the beaches, and in 8 hours that's erased by the plastic waste. And that's why the data cards are so important, is that we can say, like, there's so much plastic, it's ending up in our oceans, we need to do something about it, and then we have the data for it.
Good afternoon. My name is Charles Trott. I'm here interviewing this gentleman, which I'll let him introduce himself.
Sure. Sure, Joe Grillo, and I'm on the Asbury Park School Board. I'm the municipal chair of the Asbury Park Democrats, and I also work for an organization called Sustainable Jersey. Sure. Yeah. Obviously, we know that climate change is becoming more of a climate crisis now, and we see it. And here we are. It's a day or two away from October, and we've got 80-degree weather here in Asbury Park, right? But besides just the weather, there obviously is overwhelming scientific evidence that shows that there's a certain timeline that's taking place, that climate change is man-made, that it's real, that it's provable, and also that it's going to be almost irreversible in the next 10 to 20 years. And so what do, right? We can hope and march and lobby our federal government and our state government to make sure that they pass sound, credible laws and legislation. But there's also things that we can do locally that is super important. We can't wait for the winds of one election to another, one administration for another. When you've got your own community that you can make real solvable changes and actions that lead to results. foundations, stormwater management is something that affects all residents in a town. Lead in water service lines also affects an entire town. So those are things that shouldn't have any political context to it. They're just problems that need to be solved. And those are just two examples of local issues that we can work on to make our towns more sustainable in New Jersey.
Asbury's been known for many years as a beach town.
Yeah.
Here it is, so you can't miss it.
Yeah.
What is your feeling on how all of this is affecting the beach, especially social?
Oh wow, that's a great question, and it's a complex, multi-tiered question. But obviously, we are. If you look at the research, New Jersey is being affected right now from the climate crisis, and in the future, it's going to be one of the hot spots, ground zero areas of the entire nation in terms of climate resilience and adaptability. We're going to need to adapt quicker, and we're going to need to address these problems because it's going to affect our livelihood. The shore is what is the economic engine of Asbury Park, and if we lose that, I don't know what's going to happen.
Asbury, like this nation, the United States, is a very diverse place.
Yep.
Not only ethnically, racially, socially. What do you see? What do you see in terms of those groups here in Asbury? Some arts areas regarding how we're going to answer this question and the environmental issues today right now.
Well, the great thing is that the great thing about Asbury Park is that you've got people and groups that are politically activated, that are civically activated, and we have both volunteer groups that are city sanctioned, but also ones that are kind of ad hoc, that came together naturally, just citizens wanting to do good. People can always join their local green team. And a green team is essentially like a sustainability committee. We tackle different issues regarding to everything from having more energy efficient schools and municipal buildings to waste management, to recycling, to even things like equity and inclusion on various boards and commissions. Because sustainability isn't just about how the weather is, but it's actually making a town be able to survive in the long run, and that's what sustainability is. And part of that has to do with making sure that there's representation from all the different neighborhoods and ethnicities and different groups, demographics in Asbury Park. So you've got a sustainability committee, green team that anyone can volunteer for. You also have the environmental shade tree commission that's headed up by Tom Pavinsky, who's a great guy, former minister over at Trinity Church. You'll see them every Saturday morning at one of the natural areas in New Jersey, planting trees, digging stuff up, doing all kinds of great stuff like that. But also you've got local groups like SAWS, the Save Asbury's Waterfront, and they do a great job. You've got West Side United that also does a lot of really great stuff on the west side of town. And all these different groups, it shows that we've got an active citizenry here, which is the foundation of any kind of change that's going to happen in Asbury Park.
Here, I belong to Surfrider and want to keep my beaches clean. And we're just at the Senior Now Festival, so we're doing a little after cleanup.
Okay.
But I have to say the venue was really clean because we were in the Rock and Recycle program and everybody participated.
Okay, so you think this is very important for the
Yes.
It's going to be an ongoing thing. You'll do this again.
We do regular beach cleanups at least once a month. Not always in Asbury, but up and down the Jersey Shore.
Okay.
And sometimes inland on riverbanks. And this is just our local chapter getting together after this festival because I've probably picked up about 200 cigarette butts in this tiny little area.
Tell me why you're doing this and what's the point of it?
Oh, what's the point?
Yes.
Well,
garbage can't talk, but it says a lot about the person that leaves it.
True that. True. Yeah.
We just want to clean up the beaches.
And you think that's as important for the environment and stuff like that?
Yeah, we don't want it to end up in the ocean.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, everyone knows that our biggest commodity, our biggest treasure in Asbury Park is our beach. And I think, you know, you saw a lot of what was happening with the waterfront developer, iStar. When they tore up the boardwalk, all of a sudden, a lot of community residents were up in arms about it. They said, "Wait, what happened?" One day they woke up and their boardwalk was getting torn up. So what you saw from that was this next generation of, not next generation maybe, but you've got this next wave of civic activism that has to do with not you know, development per se, but making sure that there's smart development that's happening. You know. Well, there's a huge equity component too, right? Because of our history, because of what used to be here, and I think that's hugely important in terms of any decision that's being made. Now, I mean, personally, I feel like iStar did the right thing. They promised that they were going to reconstruct the boardwalk and make it wide. I think the plan that they had beforehand was a little bit of them trying to use the boardwalk as some sort of a yellow brick road to their planned pool club, you know. But I got to give them credit that they realized that the people wanted their boardwalk back, and they acquiesced and they did the right thing. One thing that I think we need to be careful of is they're building this pool club, right? And maybe there's some negotiation that can be made where we have the north end that we want to get preserved, the North Beach that we want completely preserved. And maybe if there's a way to negotiate with them, so the North Beach is preserved in perpetuity, and they are allowed to build a beach club that doesn't look like a big, huge wall, but actually looks like something that will be a benefit to all the residents, then we're talking. Then I think we've got something right there. I think they're almost there. I really can't. I can't imagine having this exclusive beach club or exclusive pool club just sitting there like this big monolith that we saw what the plans look like, right?
That was sort of history repeating itself in Asbury. Because I've been here for some, the river, X amount of years. I remember when there was a pool. Perhaps it was a club, I don't remember if it was a club or not, but it was supposedly a public pool. Well, you know how that went. There were certain groups in the community that looked like me who weren't really allowed in there. And that was an issue then. It might also be an issue now. But, that's America.
Right, but here's a funny thing. I've actually spoken to a couple of the residents from the Ocean Club recently. Some of the very new, they just moved in a few weeks or months ago, and even they said, like, what are they, crazy? They were tearing up the boardwalk. They're doing an exclusive pool club. Right. So even they don't want it as much as maybe the developers want it. So it's something where I personally think that there's room for negotiation. Unfortunately, for the ones that don't want the pool club at all, it's written in the master plan. It's probably going to happen. I think it's just trying to make sure that it's done in the most sustainable and equitable way, because there's also the environmental aspect of it. And even though they've gotten all the approvals that they were going to get from the Department of Environmental Protection, it's something that we have to constantly be vigilant to make sure that this doesn't, exacerbate any problems that we may have in the future. So we'll see what happens with that. It's a really interesting, kind of thing to look at and to really ponder over and figure out how to make it work for all the parties involved.
We're just picking up trash around the area just to help clean the environment up so it doesn't lead into the ocean and damage the wildlife.
Okay.
So,
that's good. And why do you care about that?
It's been a leading problem for quite a while. animals such as turtles that are being affected that, have been losing their lives. Dolphins, animals have been washing up on the beaches. So we're just kind of helping the environment as much as we can.
You'll be doing this. This is the first time you're doing it.
First time we're doing it, yes. We're here, Monmouth cross country team. We're here as a group, just helping clean up. So.
Yeah, we're out here with Surfrider Foundation cleaning up the beach for the fall. So cleaning up the beach and the surrounding areas so that keep plastics out of the ocean.
And why is this important to you?
It affects the quality of the water. It affects the habitat for marine life and animals that live there, and the animals that depend on the ocean for food, and the humans included.
Yes.
So it's important to keep plastics out of our oceans, out of our water supply, our rivers, lakes, streams.
One last question. As you know, the youth, and one in particular, but there's more than just have been very vocal about the environment, about climate warming, climate change.
Sure.
How do you see the youth here in Asbury, the immediate here in Asbury?
Right.
How are they responding to this environmental issue?
So this is interesting, right? Because we have the Sunrise movement that is really coming from the grassroots level, where you've got high school and college kids that, I even hate calling them kids, but you've got high school and college young adults that have just had enough. And they say, look, this is our generation that's going to get affected by this. And so they're taking to the streets, but they're also being smart about it. They're not just protesting and chanting, they're also meeting with legislators and pressing them on issues, pressing them on the Green New Deal, pressing them on things like even, like I said, even things like stormwater management, which you wouldn't think is like a hot button issue, but it really is. And you've got people like Greta Thunberg, who has inspired millions to do this kind of stuff. Here's the challenge, is that what you see is that a lot of times these environmental causes are led, or the forward-looking face are from white, middle to upper class young people. And I think that the real challenge is to make sure that people of color and young people from communities of color have a say and have a seat at the table. And because when climate change does strike, it's going to hit poor communities of color first.
Well, it's striking now.
People that can't, but you know what I'm saying in terms of people can't just pick up and run to the hills, if they can't afford to do that, and when there's institutionalized marginalization and all that going on. So I think the biggest challenge for the climate crisis movement is to get more people of color, more black and brown and yellow and every other color involved, and it's not just a white privileged leadership.